welcome to the program. I am your host, Phatman.
And I'm Littleboy.
And this is our weekly Netcast podcast for
August 28th.
This is the last one of... Can you believe how fast this year is going?
It is flying by. And we have, as you can see, we've moved to Tuesdays.
We had to because of Monday Night Football. Littleboy is a tremendous football fan.
Yeah.
And so much so that he's actually scarred his body and can never be buried in a Jewish cemetery. But he is a huge football fan. So when he said, hey, I really like to do it, I wasn't going to fight him on it.
Well, that's one of the very rare things that you don't fight me on. It was kind of nice.
Oh, please. I might fight with politics and basically general way you think that's wrong, but when there's something you really want.
When I got a suggestion or something, you always say, let's give it a try.
Yeah, what the heck? I mean, I'll always try it once, and then when you fail, I make sure everybody knows that that's what happened. But
so I was actually going to segue into something, but you hadn't asked me your normal question, so I don't want to do that yet.
Well, I was going to ask you, little boy, how was your week? Wow, I can't believe you're going to take that from me.
I almost did. Week's been good. I actually had a bit of a scare on Friday at work. I lost my wedding ring.
Yes, you told me about that. I see. You have it, though.
Yes. I was sitting at my desk, and I looked down, and it was gone.
So where did you find it?
I found it. It had rolled under my desk and under, we used to call it a printer cabinet that was under my desk and on the other side of the room where I work. But now it is a ring storage facility. Because it stored my ring for the weekend. I happened to just, on a whim, Monday morning we got back to work, I said, I'm just going to pull all these cabinets out and see, and it was sitting right there in the desk.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really
nice.
Good,
I was pretty bummed out that I thought it was gone.
What'd your wife say? Did you ever tell her?
I have to add from a female perspective.
Yes.
You're lucky you found it.
Yeah. My wife, she was sad. She wasn't really mad at me. She was just sad, because we've been married 16 years. I've had this a long time.
I know it. That's very important.
And, so it was very nice to get it back. I didn't want to. I would have eventually got another one. The cheap person in me didn't want to have to spend the money to buy another ring.
It's your wedding ring.
Exactly.
I would have.
I
wear a cheap $5 wedding ring.
and secondly, it wouldn't have been the same because it's not the original one. So it was nice to get it back.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. I'm actually glad for you because marriage is sacred, and you were married.
Well, I take marriage very seriously. I do take it very seriously.
I know you do. And actually you do because that's one thing I could say about you. I mean, I like to say a lot of mean things, which are all real and true, but you do take marriage seriously. Let's get into our stories because producer Jen is back. Everybody knows that last week that she wasn't here.
Strict schedule.
Timing is going to happen.
Yes.
She will tell you think you must do it at this time.
I do not talk like that. Everyone's heard me.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be back to keep these guys in line.
No, because let me tell you, at 21 minutes, you're off.
Get out! I'll shut you down. So, anyways, this was one of the things I was going to say. There's a suggestion I had, and you said, let's give it a try. We were going to kind of do a few shows that were basically just current events. We're not going to talk so much politics, although if politics come into that's fine. But we've been spending so much time talking about Obama and Romney, and we're going to talk about all this other stuff, and we got the debates coming up, which we're going to cover and talk about. So we thought, what we did this week is found interesting articles, put them on the show notes, and decided let's run them. Yeah, let's talk about them and take. We have usually a different viewpoint towards everything. So I'm going to start. There's a new show coming out when the new season of shows start called The New Normal. It's about, I guess, a family and there's a gay couple, and one of the moms, I guess, was a surrogate mom for their kid. That's kind of the basis of the show. And a Utah TV station has banned it. They're not going to run it. Mm-hmm. And I was interested. What do you think about that?
It's their job. They want it, they can. If they don't want to have it, they don't have to. I mean, they're a private company. And, I always found that it's really funny because I want to talk about this, but also this week happened where if the certain airlines won't let you on if you're dressed a little bit kind of, risque. It's their business. Now, airlines, I do take an exception to because of the fact that we bail them out all the time. So they should be under a little different, ruling. But as far as a Utah TV station, whatever. If we don't want to run something, we have a network. I wouldn't run it. You wouldn't run it if you didn't want to run something.
I just think it's ridiculous that people in that area aren't going to get the opportunity to see it. And the way I look at what's on TV, people complain about the FCC is there to keep stuff that is considered, they're who makes the decision on what's decent and what's not.
Now, that has changed a lot. Imagine what's decent today. We actually deal with this with the radio.
Because times change.
Yeah.
You watch back when Leave It to Beaver was on. You watch when I Love Lucy is on. Things have changed, and the FCC has grown and understand that things have changed. They are who makes the decision on what's decent or not. That's what they're there for. My thoughts on this is, if the FCC thinks it's fine to play it. If you have a problem with it, then don't let your kids watch it.
Yeah, but
I don't want a station making that decision for me.
But the station owns the rights to it. If they want to run it, they run it. If they don't, they don't. I mean, we can't tell them they have to run it. I understand where you're coming from, and I think the same way. You should run it. Because let me explain the way I feel about these shows. My favorite show is Modern Family.
Yeah.
You know how I am about gay marriage, and Modern Family is my favorite show.
Right.
It doesn't do the gay and lesbian community any good service to run these shows. It actually increases stereotypes. I mean, look what they do on Modern Family with Cam. He is the stereotypical homosexual. And let me tell you, I love his character. I think he's unbelievably funny.
Very funny.
But we have gay friends. They do not act like that at all. And so he is what every redneck, dirtbag thinks of a gay person.
Not quite. He's not wearing the short shorts and
but he's got the pink shirt and he runs, and he's like, and it's funny because his partner always says how, calls him a queen and really they're not doing the gay and lesbians,
I actually think that they do, because I think that it is making people who maybe aren't exposed to homosexual couples maybe
now
a little bit more comfortable with it.
You know what though? Why be comfortable if you don't want to be? That's the thing. I think the
show
is a great show.
Watch it or don't watch it. But I don't want a station deciding. I want everybody to have the opportunity. I don't want to say, well, I can't watch this because I live in...
That's a slippery slope. And let me tell you why. Because what if they told us... What if somebody came to us with a show that I was dead set against, and you were like, with... You know what I mean? And you can take the same thing and saying, our listeners might really like it, or our viewers might really like it. But if it's really something you don't want to do...
if it's not now, our rules are a little bit different because we're on the internet. But let's say we went by
radio too and television now.
Right, but let's say we were going by if it was something that could be put on by the FCC, if the FCC would allow it on regular television, and it was something that we would have the opportunity to get advertising dollars from, why wouldn't you put it on? If people didn't want to watch it, then don't watch it.
Yeah, but if I was dead set against it, and you wouldn't force me to do it.
No, because
That's different.
First of all, I wouldn't force you to do anything. We would have to come to a consensus. But we've talked before. We've been approached. It hasn't happened yet, but somebody wanted to. If somebody wanted to use us to put on a deeply, strictly religious show, which is a lot of stuff that I disagree with, I wouldn't have a problem.
But what was the first thing I came to you with that? I said, this person wants to do that.
No, we would discuss
it. If you would have said, hey, I don't really like it, it wouldn't have happened.
Well,
and I wouldn't have turned around. I just believe that the station has the full rights to do whatever they want. Now, it might be a great show.
I don't know.
Chances are it's not going to be, because we all know that, well, one, it's NBC, and two, is that...
How often are new shows great? Not very often.
Hardly ever. I mean,
it's rare.
It's a shot in the dark.
It's rare, and they don't give them as much time to develop as they used to. You got to catch on quick.
6 episodes or 4 episodes. I think it's even down to 3 episodes on a half-hour show.
Sometimes they're cutting them fast. You got to grow fast. You got to come out of the gate running.
Chances are the show will be canceled anyway. I think it has more odds of being canceled than not.
I'm going to give it I give actually most comedies. If it looks any somewhat interesting at all, I'll give it a try because I love comedies.
Sure.
I'll watch 2 or 3 episodes, and then usually you and I will talk, and I'll say, or I'll say, hey, it's good.
Yeah, and we have the kind of the same taste in television, but I don't think the station should ban it. They have the full right to ban it.
That wasn't really what our discussion was, because we both understand they have the rights to do it. But I just think that it's not a good idea. Let people, people who are complaining about stuff that's on TV, have more control over your children. Don't. Well, if that in your family is something that you don't want your children watching, or you don't want your family watching, then don't let them watch it. Say why, because it doesn't say why.
Are you on the air, Producer Jen?
I am now.
Okay, good.
So, what KSL is what the company's called.
Yeah.
They did not cancel the show because it features gay characters. The station said in a statement, "We have viewed the pilot, and this program contains sexually explicit content, demeaning dialogue, and inciting stereotypes.
Well, there goes the stereotype.
Right.
Right. It wasn't just the fact that it was a gay couple and all of that. It was actually the whole content of the show.
Well, I'm wondering if they're masking that and that, though. And the reason why I say that is because we don't know. And if the FCC is going to allow it, then why would this,
Well, it's funny. Do you remember in the early 90s that song that George Michael put out, I Want Your Sex?
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Yes.
Well, I used to ski quite often before I broke my leg. I used to ski all the time, and I went to Utah constantly to ski. I have friends in Salt Lake.
I have family that lives in Salt Lake
They would
City.
not play that song. What they played that song on the air was, I Want Your Socks. They changed the words. And it was so funny because I remember the first time I heard it, I was at a Zuka Juice there, and I thought, what is that? And I asked my friend, and he said, yeah, they don't play the song here.
That's ridiculous.
And the thing is,
radio's a little bit different than TV, but still,
Well, why, though? We're under the same FCC with radio.
Because radio.
I know you were talking about...
Are you on the air? Because I want to make sure people can hear you.
People should be allowed to see it, but they also said in their statement that the decision came after they had a barrage of Utah viewers complain
then that's it.
Network promotions for the show, so it didn't fit the demographic.
Well, and you got to remember where they're at.
The bottom, exactly.
I mean, that's a huge.
The bottom line is it's their right to not play it if they don't want to. I just think it's a bad idea.
You know what?
I just think it's a bad idea.
We agree but disagree. I agree for the fact that you're right. I think it'd be funny. I disagree for the fact that I don't think these shows do the gay and lesbian community any help. Well, I really don't. I don't think they're.
I honestly don't think the show's out there to do the gay and lesbian community any help. I think the show's out there to try and make money.
But
and they think that
Of course it is. We put on shows all the time. It's just to see what will make money. Yeah. But the thing is,
can't wait till that starts happening.
Yeah. The thing is, on this particular show, if they don't want to run it, now it's also NBC. NBC is great for the fact that you can. I have DirecTV here. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, DirecTV is coming on as a sponsor. Thank you very much. We're gonna have a call-in number for them later.
Awesome.
But if you don't see the show or you forgot to record it or whatever, NBC has its own on-demand system now. So this station may not be covering it, but if you
I wonder,
first of all, stop that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, actually, they can stop that, but it doesn't matter. You still have your download.
Yeah, that's
your DirecTV download, and also Hulu.
You go to the website and all sorts of stuff.
There's ways for people.
If you really want to watch it, you can.
Well, you're a cord cutter. You find every way to watch television.
Exactly.
Let's go on to the next story.
I
thought we would, and I actually liked it. I would love to get feedback on that one too. We got a bunch of feedback on our. Well, it's hard. Producer Jen's talking in the center.
The station owns other they own other stations in other cities, and they're going to still play it in those cities. They're not playing it in Utah because it's Utah. We get that. Right. We get that.
But the reason I'm asking about feedback is because do you remember we did the gay in the gays in the Boy Scouts?
Yes.
We've been receiving tons of comments on that.
Really?
And it's
I
very
gotten
interesting. Well, they're all on YouTube or they're on the website. Okay. They're not to us directly.
Oh, okay.
But I want feedback. We always ask for feedback, and maybe our demographic. And I found this, which is interesting, because our demographic is not like what the sports shows are. And
it's a little older.
It's older, and like the Dr. Davenport show, who gets thousands of views as well, nobody comments on his shows.
Yeah.
And I found with his show, it's a more conservative audience, and it's older audience. They just don't comment.
No.
They watch it, and it's older.
They watch it, and they watch it.
And I did a screening. This is something I wanted to talk about. I did a screening the other day with my family and all of the elders of my family, and everybody talked about it. And I said, well, would anybody send in a comment on it? And everybody, no. I liked it. It was good. Because we're on DirecTV now, so it's easy to get our show.
Right. Most people who make a comment on the bottom are just looking for, to make something wild, say something wild anyways.
Right, but the thing I'm saying is, how come nobody comments on our stuff, And I know I upset DB the other day. She never commented to me.
I know. She said she was going to, and she didn't. But
but it's just interesting because I would like to get some comments. So if you have a comment on this particular topic or any topic, let us know.
Yeah,
comments at phatmanandlittleboy.com or on any of the videos or on the website itself. You can send a form.
Yep.
Whatever it is. Let's go to the next one. I don't want to waste too much time.
USADA to ban Lance Armstrong for life. Now, I know this happened a little while ago, and we actually talked about this last weekend in the car. What do you think about that? Do you think that, first of all, a few facts on the case. He's been tested thousands of times, never once tested positive. Doesn't mean that he's never cheated. It just means that he's never been caught. They're going by word of mouth from multiple people saying that they either used performance-enhancing drugs with him or saw him using them. Is that enough to ban somebody for life?
No. Absolutely not. We talked about this. Listen, Lance Armstrong has always been my hero. I used to watch Greg LeMond before him, and then Lance Armstrong, and I really, really loved cycling. When I was growing up, my best friend wanted to do this, and he went all over the world with his bike. I tried. I was always a little bit too tall, a little too heavy. But here's what I think on this whole case. Did he do it? We have no idea.
Right.
The problem is we have no idea. Yet they strickened him. They've taken all his medals. They banned him for life like he really cares. But at the same time, on top of all that, they have destroyed him in the court of public opinion. And what happened to due process? What happened to having his rights?
They were going to go. It was going to go to court, and he stopped it. He just said, "That's it. I'm done fighting."
Because he fought it for 16 years.
Now, this
gets old.
This is my point, and I talked to you about this before. If he's guilty, people are pointing to saying, "See, he's guilty. He quit because he's guilty, and he knows that he's guilty." But there's another way to look at it, too, because I personally don't know. I guess if you had a gun to my head and said, did Lance Armstrong cheat or not, if you had a gun to my head and I had to choose, I would say he probably did. But I certainly would not.
Yeah, but you still said probably.
Right, because
you don't know.
I don't know.
Well, just like everything else.
Right.
Isn't somebody innocent until proven guilty in this world?
No, I agree
in this
with
country,
you.
I
agree with you. And I don't think him quitting is an admission of guilt. I really don't, because, honestly, if I was fighting something for that long and you cannot prove that you did not do something.
Well, of course, but that's why you're innocent until proven guilty.
If I told everybody that you drank a beer last night,
I can't prove I didn't.
You can't prove you didn't.
No, unless I had video on me 24 hours a day.
The only thing that could happen is there's ways that I could prove that you did. I could have video evidence of it. I could have taken a blood test. I could have had
a picture of me with it.
Picture of it.
Exactly.
But there is nothing that you can do to prove that you didn't. And that's the position he's in. So I feel for him in that sense. He's either...
But you could be lying.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And that's what I'm upset about.
You're right. I could be lying about it. Now, here's the thing. He's either being completely screwed or he's a very, 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 very good cheater because he hasn't been caught.
Well, okay, the people that are coming forward that says he did it...
Right.
The only evidence they have is, well, I was there,
and I've been caught, and I've been caught.
Right. That's sour grapes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
The thing is, if they would have caught him dead to rights, I would change my mind on it. But I am going to say that he is innocent until they prove guilt.
They have testing rules, and he has followed all of them. They have tested him. He's never tested. Now, there are always ways to cheat the system, but maybe he's a great cheater. They have not caught him cheating. They have not caught him using performance-enhancing drugs. They have not caught him doing things to cheat the testing system. So I don't know how they could find him guilty. I don't know. I just don't know how.
Well, for me, if you put a gun to my head, I would turn around and say, I don't know.
You don't know? So then, boom, you're dead.
Then you're dead, because I'm not going to condemn somebody on no evidence.
I'm not out there running my mouth, making arguments with people, or even talking, saying, oh, he cheated, I know he cheated. I'm just telling you, you put a gun in my head and you make me take a stand. I would say, I guess, if I had to choose, I would guess that he cheated. But I hope... I'm certainly not sure on that.
I hope that it would be something where... You know what?
He's done with talking about it, and I don't blame him. If I was him and I was guilty...
Right too, let's not talk... That we haven't even talked about.
What's that?
He has a Fifth Amendment right. He doesn't have to say anything.
No, he doesn't.
See, what they're doing is they're making him defend himself, and he doesn't have to defend himself.
Exactly.
You know?
Against something that can't really be proved.
Yeah, so for 16 years, he has been constantly defending himself, and he just said, enough.
I'm done.
You
now,
know?
if he's guilty, I don't blame him for just saying, all right, I can't fight anymore. And if he's innocent, I can't blame him for saying, all right, I'm done.
Enough. You know, take him. Well,
yeah. There's a financial cost, but so far it has actually helped his foundation. donations to the foundation have picked up because
people think like I do too.
Well, not only that, but it's really hard to let go of something that you believe in so strongly, and there's a lot of people that believe in that, and it makes you want to defend him harder. If you're one of those, I've never really been affiliated with Lance Armstrong. I've always liked him, but I haven't been part of his foundation and all that type of stuff. But people have really given a lot of their time and effort, and it's really, really tough to, after you've gone in that deep, to all of a sudden, it makes you want to dig in stronger for him.
We talked about Scientology in the same way.
Exactly. I was just going to say, but not just Scientology. I think all religions like that. Not just Scientology. But we can move on. We don't want to turn this into a religious discussion.
Let's
That's
roll
for another day.
here.
Students fined for skipping school. A Connecticut school is going to start charging kids $75 each time the kid is caught being truant. Now, I found this very interesting. There's a few different ways you can look at this because there are some kids...
Money grab.
Cash grab?
Cash grab.
As Nick and Darren would say, you call it a cash grab. So first of all, do you agree with it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Second of all...
you can't put them in jail. There's not enough room.
Did you ever... Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Were you ever truant?
Truant? Absolutely.
Okay. Were you a good kid? I mean, honestly.
Yes.
I was a good kid. I never got in trouble. I pretty much did everything that my parents wanted me to do, and I probably skipped school 10 times in high school.
I can guarantee you I did not skip that much.
In 4 years, 10 times?
Well,
yeah.
In that whole
in 4 years?
No,
10
I was
times?
an avid skier, and I loved to ski.
Yeah.
And we used to skip on Wednesdays because Mountain High had a deal on Wednesdays. But I only skipped, I want to say, well, you said 10 times. I only
4
skipped,
years?
Yeah, maybe 5 times in 4 years.
3 times a year?
No,
I'm not buying that for a second.
I'm telling you.
Well, first of all, your dad probably doesn't know. My dad, who watches the show sometimes, he probably doesn't know. Sorry, Dad. We used to skip, and we used to go to baseball games, and we used to skip and just skip because it was just a nice day to skip.
So it would have cost you $750.
Now,
but what did you cost
me
the
$750?
school?
It would have cost... because you fake a note and it's an excused absence.
Yeah,
but
what does it cost the school? It costs the school when a student's not in the
It does not. Not when it's an excused absence. They still get paid for that.
If it's a truant absence,
right?
They don't.
That's right. Now that's what I didn't get cost the school because my 10 absences were excused absences because I happened to be sick, according to the note that I brought in.
Oh, did you write it yourself?
Yeah,
I never did that.
Well,
I never did that.
Well, maybe I was a little bit worse than you were then.
Apparently, I can tell you, I never did. I tried once and I broke down.
But
I was afraid of getting caught.
Had I been charged, how is that fair to charge my parents $75? They were good parents. They were they weren't the type of parents who just kind of let me go off and do what I wanted
because they're responsible for you.
I know that.
If you were driving a car, and I tell my kids this all the time. Now my oldest is over 18; she's on her own. But the rest of them, if you're driving a car down the street and you hit somebody, and they're not suing you, buddy, they're suing me.
I had something that I was interested in kind of adding on to this. I think it's great, actually. I really do. And there are some parents who are so backed off that they deserve to be fined $75 because they need to stay on top of their kids.
I'm not sure 75 is enough.
If you are on top of your kids and you have a relatively good kid, every once in a while it's going to happen. They're going to do something like this. Instead of, why won't they let you make a choice? Either pay $75 or your kid has to stay the night in juvenile hall or something like that, or your kid has to do some community service.
I like that too because I
instead of the $75. Exactly.
I would say you're going to jail a couple days, kid.
Exactly. So for the parents who it's not their fault, there's still punishment, and because you said cash grab, let this school district prove that it's not just a cash grab, that it's actually to promote kids going to school.
Well, look where it is first off.
Connecticut.
Okay. No, it's in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas.
I'm sorry, Wichita, Kansas.
Bible Belt.
Connecticut school district here. Though.
Some Connecticut students, but it's in Wichita, Kansas. So Connecticut must be the school's name. Connecticut Public Schools. I don't know. Maybe it's... I have no idea then. Okay, I have no idea. But
maybe
anyway...
the article was written in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah,
that
could
matter.
Be. It doesn't matter. If it's Connecticut, the parents probably... It's a little bit higher society, possibly.
Lovey.
Yeah. But, you know what? I have no... I've always said, and it's funny because my father says this too, for the kids that spray paint on walls, fine the parents $10,000 every time they get caught. And guess what? That stops.
Yeah.
You know.
Or send the kid to jail.
Well, but that's what they do. I mean, right now, when
Make the kid work it off. Make the kid work it off.
Yeah, but you know what? That's not what happens. When I was a cop here, we would get someone on vandalism, because that's what it is, a juvenile, and they would end up on probation almost always, and you would run them again, and they'd be like, they did this before, you know. And it ends up costing the state and the city and the locals all the money. But if you turned around and said, you know what, the parent has to pay restitution to this, all of a sudden, guess what? It would stop. And I don't see a problem with trying this here. You know, if the average student, maybe you were average, 10, times is an average deal. If the average student did 10 times over his high school career, it's $750. That's not that much. I mean, you could find a heck of a lot more for speeding. You could find a heck of a lot more for running a stoplight. I don't have a problem with that. I think $75 is not enough. I mean, it won't. I don't think $75 is going to deter anybody.
It would be. If my kid was going to cost me $75, I'd be pretty ticked off.
Well, yeah, but I don't think it's going to deter. I just don't think $75
I'd be ticked off
enough.
if my kid was caught being truant anyways. Even though I did it when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's not okay for them.
Well, it wasn't okay for me either.
I know. But it's not okay.
If I had been caught, I would have expected to get punished.
Do you think 75? Well, it's hard to say, because I know what you're saying. You're thinking the parents shouldn't get punished for it, but the parents are responsible for that kid.
Right. But
now,
I think the parents can pay it off. The parents can pay it off. Well, then it's the kid.
That's the question I have, because if the kid is 18 and still in high school,
then that bill goes to the kid. The kid's an adult.
Yeah. Well,
I think the parent can. I think the parent should be able to pay the $75, or there should be a program where the kid has to work it off.
All right.
All right, let's move on.
Hit him with the $75. Throw him in jail.
Mom lost her job to watch her son play for the Little League World Series.
It's a soccer mother, I guarantee you, because their life, and just like my wife was too, it's the same. I always throw the parents that are way too involved with their kids' sports as soccer moms. Okay? There is so many people who are living their dreadful life through their child. It's not even funny. The kid is his own person, right? Let them live their life.
Well,
if you didn't do what you wanted to do in your life, then shame on you. You're an idiot. And let me tell you something else.
Jeez.
The kid is the kid. I know so many people. I have people in my family who live their life through their kids, and I look at this and go,
if your kid's in the Little League World Series,
you want to watch them. What is wrong with this person that they will destroy their whole, because this is a huge subject for me.
Well,
they will take their whole life out for their kid playing some dumb game that will get them nowhere in life, and they like, my kid was the best third baseman on the team. Yeah? Okay. Let him play against Alex Rodriguez. Then tell me, is he still the best first baseman? Well, guess what? He's at Ed Kranepool. All right? So what I'm saying is...
What the hell is wrong with you? Oh, my God.
Well, I know I went off on a tangent.
There's a lot wrong with it.
I even laughed. I spit on myself. But the thing is, what I'm saying is these people that live through their kids are idiots.
That's not what this
is
about.
Now that I'm done.
Okay, now we're going to go on to a new subject. Mom lost her job to watch her son play for Little League World Series. Now, when you hear the story, you think that it sounds like a mean boss, and maybe he was a mean boss. I don't know.
Was the mom supposed to be working? Does she have a job?
You don't get the whole
Is there not 11 million people not working? Stupid
but I'll
woman,
tell you
I'm glad
what,
you got fired.
She basically quit her job because when she requested the time off, her boss wouldn't let her have the time off.
He is a jerk, because that is kind of cool.
He told her, if you go, write yourself your last check. She said, so I wrote myself my last check. So she technically quit. I mean, she knew. Here's the deal.
And guess what? She can't get unemployment.
We have no idea what kind of situation her work was. Maybe this is somebody who, I'm not saying I know, I'm just saying maybe this is somebody who always is known for calling in sick on Mondays and takes a lot of free time off. And the boss is going, enough is enough. Maybe she has 2 weeks vacation and she used it all already, So I think, now, these are all a bunch of what-ifs because the article doesn't get into any of that. I'm just saying there's two sides. This article is written to make the boss look like a big jerk. Maybe the boss was a big jerk. Who knows?
It's his business.
Exactly. The bottom line is it is his business, and he's not required.
That is a jerky thing to do.
He's not required to give you time off.
No.
And maybe she was the type of employee that he was hoping for something like this because he wanted to get rid of her because she was a bad employee. So he's like, here's my opportunity.
Yeah, goodbye, Jane.
All right, you go and do this, and you don't have a job anymore. Oh, thank you. She's gone. Let's get somebody who can do the job. You know, I don't know. All this is conjecture. We don't know.
Obviously, if she was a linchpin in the company, he would have said, I'm not going to fire her. So obviously she was replaceable. Well, and everybody's replaceable.
You know,
let's set that out.
I always try and keep an extra week of vacation, in the bank because if something comes up,
But you get millions of weeks of vacation.
I get 3 a year.
You got a cushy job.
I get 3 a year. That's not a million. That is a lot, and I appreciate all 3 weeks of them. I appreciate all 3 weeks that I get off a year. Trust me.
Well, that's right. Your boss watches.
Sometimes he does.
Well, not to get back on my tangent, I'm
not quite sure where it came from or where it went.
Well, because this is a very emotional thing for me.
You were talking about, You were talking about,
I'm going to explain something.
Go ahead.
Phatman has an issue with understanding the difference between living for your kids and living as your kids, or living your life through your kids.
I don't have a problem with that. I see the difference. I don't live either one of those. I don't live for my kids. What? Hello? I'm only alive to make sure that they grow? What the heck?
Definition of being a parent, then.
No.
Yeah.
I don't live for my kids. Yeah. That I would never say.
I live for my kids.
That's it? You're only alive for them?
That's not only, but they are...
No, I love my kids, don't get me wrong, but I don't live for them.
Yeah, they are my top priority. They are my top priority.
No. I didn't say that.
And I'm not talking about just making sure they have food and somewhere to live. I'm talking about I do everything that I can for my kids to try and give them the best.
So you live for them? I mean, your whole life.
Not my whole life, but a giant majority of my life.
That's what you're saying.
A giant portion of my life is
now,
for my
do you
kids.
get really crazy about their sports and become a freak like I've seen some of these people be?
No, I enjoy watching them. I watch my daughter, both of my daughters dance. I make sure they get to all of their... so do I. And if you who've seen me on YouTube, thank you, Phatman, for putting that up there.
You're welcome.
Through their dance studio, they have what's called a dad's dance every year, and I got roped into doing it twice. And I kind of tried to do it on the down low, but apparently video footage leaked. And Phatman put it up, so, a little embarrassing.
There'll be a link on the website.
But I very much enjoy, I make sure that we spend a lot of money to make sure that they can dance. It's very important to me because extracurricular activities are very important to me.
Of course.
But we do not force them to do any of them, and I'm not overzealous in the sense my daughter's been to dance competitions and I'm not the guy, so there's no way she should have lost, that type of stuff.
I hate that.
No, you got to really separate yourself out. And when I was, when my oldest daughter went to a dance competition last year, we watched the whole thing. I understood she wasn't the best one out there. She knew she wasn't the best one out there, and I wasn't out there trying to sell it that she was.
I have a couple of kids that excel in sports.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Very, very,
I'm very
athletes.
proud when they win, but that is it. I don't sit there when they lose and cry. I don't sit there when they I'm proud for them. I don't take any responsibility for them winning.
No.
And there's parents that take full responsibility for it, and that annoys the heck out of me.
Well, they have all those shows, those Dance Mom shows and those shows, and I can't watch them. Not only are they stupid, but it sickens me because what those moms do to those kids is child abuse.
I think it is.
Absolute child abuse, how they use their kids as pawns.
Well, you remember Danielle Van Damme. I thought that was child abuse.
Well, she
got killed. That was a hell of a lot of abuse. But what I mean is that whole thing. We can't go too much further. We're running into the next show's time.
We have
even though it is our network, we have to get off for the next show.
Do we have time to get into one more quick story?
I don't think so. It's 6:45.
All right. Well, I guess we.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, the time police is back this week.
Yep.
We had a bunch of stories. We'll try and do this for a few weeks. I think it's fun talking current events.
I think so too. When is the Little Boy Show coming back?
I'm
sweating. It's so hot in here today.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
All right. Well, that's it. I guess we're done because we just got told by our producer, "Quit talking. You're done." So, all right. You can always catch me at Phatman at Phatman and Littleboy or producer Phatman on Twitter.
You can email me at Littleboy at phatmanandlittleboy.com. Please, if you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything that I've said, email me and not Phatman.
Even if you
email
have problems with what I said, email him.
And
I don't care.
You can follow me on Twitter
If
at...
you email him.
You
He
can follow
cares.
me shut up, it's my turn. Follow me at Twitter at LBHost.
Wow, Little Boy, it was a good show. I had a good time. I liked not talking about, our terrible president. I thought it was great. And I think that worked out well. We didn't, get any
You still got
politics
to work that in there, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, Little Boy, good show.
Yeah, I had a good time.
All right. And we'll see you real soon.
Take care.